yes, or maybe it was your assistant, I'm not sure it was you. But anyway, said that he would come and meet with me, and we met at Starbucks in July and began a dialogue. And then I wanted Josh to kind of just tell you, some of you may have heard this, but I want him to share it.
Yeah, I was looking around, and it looks like a number of you were at the citywide prayer on Thursday and already heard me share, but some of you weren't, and so I'm going to repeat a little bit of what I shared. I was not involved in the prayer movement, at all, for the first 16 of them.
Zero.
I was watching. For a couple of reasons. One, I had got a report, and the other, I had gone to one of the pastor's prayer meetings and had an experience at that one that kind of made me think, this thing is really a charismatic deal. It's not just a broadly evangelical deal. It's not a Catholic and Orthodox deal. It's mainly a charismatic deal. And I come from a tradition and really am personally one of those people, maybe you've heard the comment, that when it comes to charismatics, I'm open, but cautious. Open meaning I believe all of the gifts continue until the Lord returns, and I believe the Lord still works in power miraculously, but a lot of the examples I see of that taking place I'm cautious about, I'm skeptical about, and so that's kind of been my stance. And so it's not like judgmental, like I don't think you guys are Christians or something along those lines, but just, that's not my deal. And so, the charismatics can have their prayer movement, and I'll do the preaching groups that I'm doing, and
Isn't it awesome he's talking about it?
we can all just kind of do our own thing. And so, but Sam asked me to coffee, and when he asked me to coffee, something happened in my mind before I even heard it. I'm very involved with Eighth Day Institute. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, but that has Catholics and Orthodox and Protestants together and do a lot of stuff. And I just thought, this is wild that I've got such an attitude about kind of what I see going on with the charismatic movement. But I have fellowship with other people that I disagree with theologically. What is up with that? And so as I met with Sam, one of the things that happened, I said this the other night, we were together, I think, 2.5 hours, something along those lines, and we've since had lunch, and we talked a lot about theological things, mainly doctrine of the church, charismatic type doctrines and things like that. I don't know if I'm right or wrong on this, but I don't think I changed any of your views in those discussions, and I don't think you changed any of mine.
Okay.
I do mine. And I think we kind of stayed theologically in the same place, but one of the things that happened is I think we come to understand one another. And it's easy to be judgmental towards other people when you don't know other people. You don't know what's going on with them. And Sam said something to me that it still sticks with me. He says, how can you criticize something that you've not been a part of? And I just, point taken. By the Spirit, I felt that in that moment, so I committed to go. And I really loved the event that we had at WSU. It was wonderful to pray together, to be together. I was encouraged by the speakers. I was encouraged by the people that I prayed with. And just the Lord really used that to say, we don't have to agree on all of these points of how we do church and of how we do things. We don't have to change that. I'm not asking you to do that. Sam's not asking you to do that. But I do think we have to change our attitudes about one another. We are united in the fact that we believe that salvation is through Christ and Him alone. We are united by the fact that it is the grace of the gospel, and it is the church that is the hope of the world, like Sam has said. And when we are having heart issues and attitudes toward one another, it affects our witness within this community. And so the Lord, I thought about this at getting up here a second time within a week. I am not a real great example of humility to stand up in front of you. But the Lord is humbling me in this issue. And I just realized that my critical heart has done more to alienate me from people than it has to unite me to people. And we can't represent the God who has reconciled us to himself through Christ when we do not have that spirit and that unity among us with one another in Christ. And so I just share this by way of testimony to God's work in my heart in hopes that maybe it could encourage you toward the same. So I'm thankful for you, Sam, and count you as a friend and a brother, and want to continue to learn from you.
Love you too. Yeah. Josh and I will hold off on speaking in tongues together, and we'll just have Bible studies. I do want to say that was powerful. I thought it was a powerful Thursday night. He did that in